Welcome to Meditated Art and today's painting video. This painting is going to be fairly simple, very monochromatic, not a lot of color, but still dramatic in its own way. I'm starting off with a very clean sky. As you can tell, the white's a little thick, but a little bit of water fixes that and makes it blend a lot easier as well. The nice thing about gouache paint is that it can be relatively transparent. So even though I'm painting over the sketch, it's still, you can still see it. There's not a problem with that. Though obviously if I had left the paint thicker, that would have been a little bit more challenging. And just adding some shadows of the rolling hills of the farmstead. So basically it's just going to be the farm in the background, the rolling hills, there's going to be some fencing in there. Very simple. Again, trying to get used to the different paint. Trying to find the right consistency of paint to water ratio and all that. That white paint wants to be kind of chunky. Can't say I know what I'm doing here. Probably just trying to get the right color. Okay, yeah. Added a little bit black. So this is basically the shadows of where the fence is going to go. There's a little bit of brush right there, some vegetation. Of course, I realized after the fact that I had made a bit of a mistake with the shadows of the fencing. Actually, I kind of made mistakes all throughout this painting, but that's okay. That's why we do this on a daily basis, so we can learn from our mistakes. I was a little bit rushed and just not paying attention, and well, that's what happens. So this is another mistake that I made. I'm using whatever brush this is. So as you can see, it has a lovely fine tip on it. But the problem that I was having was I'm trying to get nice sharp corners in the building, but that super fine tip kept on going over where I was trying to put the paint. So then I'd go back and try and fix it, and then it would kind of stick out again, and then I'd fix it. Oh, yeah. So that was, these are brushes I've never used before, so trying to figure out where they're best suited is takes a little bit. Here you'll be able to see it a lot better. So got some really nice edges there, and it does not do a good job filling in. I definitely should have been using my flat brush for this. Because here I'm trying to be careful not to get the tip of the brush in where the snow is supposed to be. So it's great for outlining, but terrible for filling in. And then I decided to move to a smaller brush, so. And in reality, this is probably considered a flat brush as well, but maybe 1/8 of an inch. It's pretty small. The biggest difference between this brush and the other two flat brushes that I use, with the other two, the bristles are fairly long, whereas the bristles on this brush are fairly short. So I find that I can get a lot more control with this particular brush because the bristles are shorter, so it's a bit of a stiffer feeling using this particular brush. And just cleaning up the lines, adding a little bit more color. I thought I had been using a gray, but maybe not. Maybe that's coming up. Unfortunately, the lighting for this particular painting was really crap for some reason. I'm not entirely certain why, and I think the quality of the video starting right around here is going to start declining, so my apologies. It's not my favorite painting anyhow, so I'm not really that disappointed that it's crap quality. So just using a lighter gray to put in the planks of the walls of the barn, which is really hard to see because of the crappy quality. So just adding a little bit more. And just trying to brighten up the snow a little bit on the roof. So just adding the trees now, and just putting in some of the more major branches. As I've mentioned in the past, I have decided I just really don't like painting these trees. At least there's only 3 of them. And just little words of wisdom when you're painting, paint from the left to the right if you're right-handed, because I'm surprised I didn't get paint all over my hand and therefore all over the white snow from the freshly painted tree. So as I've done with other videos, I have taken the black pen and just going in and adding the finer details of the tree branches. It just gives it a finer details and that. I think my camera is having issues focusing because the lighting is so poor. It is having issues with knowing where to focus. So I didn't think the weather was as bad as it was yesterday, but though time of day was probably have a little bit to do with it as well. There we are for the trees, and I decided I was also going to use the pen for the fencing. Yeah, that's when I kind of realized that I'd screwed up with the fence. But, whatever. And of course, my pen doesn't really like writing over top of paint, so it's having issues there. So the fence basically kind of goes in behind one of the hills of the scenery, so that's why it just kind of disappears off the painting there. Well, there's just some vegetation there, so just adding that in. Wow, this lighting's really crappy. Sorry about that, but hey, it is what it is. Yes, so the windows for the main house, I decided instead of painting, I was going to use the white paint pen that I have. So that is basically done. Note to self, make sure the paint pen is dry before trying to add to it. So that's why I'm taking the the tape off, because the white paint pen was still a little bit damp.
The nails are pretty, but not that practical. And that I realized that my camera wasn't focusing on the painting, so I tapped the painting where I wanted it to focus as opposed to tapping on my phone where, yeah, it was a long day today, so. And out of focus again. There we go. But that is basically, oh, right. And out of focus. I'll try and make sure that the lighting is better going forward, because then it'll actually focus. Yeah, it was one of those days today. There we go. Thanks for watching.